Good morning, Rabbi Boisai. Leilui Nishmat Siyum Mordechai. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name?
Rafi Mosbacher from Switzerland.
From Switzerland?
Yeah.
You are Rafi's son. What's your name?
Isaac Mosbacher.
Isaac Mosbacher from Zurich. So you know the Stefanskys?
All of them.
We stam from Switzerland.
You've eaten his food before.
Which is?
Shelemah Airlines, Swiss Airlines.
Oh, really? Very nice. Maybe you could hook us up on some Swiss airline tickets. And then we'll eat your food and we'll advertise. We'll talk afterwards.
It's only money.
It's a matter. No, I said without. Okay. On the matter of breaking glass with sound, Kol Milso, this is known today in the scientific terms as resonance frequency. While it's a bit complicated as to why exactly this happens, basically it is when the sound and the noise is the same pitch, frequency, pinging the glass, it eventually starts to vibrate or wobble until it breaks. Here's a quick video, L'saber Sa'oizen, pun intended, Shelemah Heskel from Muncie. It should make noise. Where's the noise? Kids are broke. Should we do it again? Sound. It's annoying. Boom. Okay, Pinchas Rubenstein. Dimareno Rav Eli Shlita. I'm in the shir since Psachim in the past half a year on Zoom every weekday morning on the way to work. Mendel Learner probably loves him. I mamish feel that my day has completely changed when it starts off with the amazing shir. At home, my kids wake up every morning with their basically only English words. Good morning, Rabbi Bois, and have a wonderful day. He's from Eretz Yisrael. Even though I'm not sure they know what it means, even my 2-year-old says it. It always disturbed me that I've never managed to recruit anyone till this week. Attached to the picture of my 2 new recruits, who nod at every word you say. Rubenstein. Here are his 2 recruits, Rabbi Boisai, Yishkoyach. Okay. So yesterday we learned about the as we were leaving shir, and it was the last minute of shir. It says over here, Yesh matzav shtamarim taregel tipa, is could you do me a favor? Could you lift up your foot? I want to put 4 kalim underneath, and all of a sudden, puff, you wax him out of there. I didn't have a chance to mention the Tosfos, the famous Tosfos. The Tosfos says the Chavili Zmoiris is that you dangle a bundle of Zmoiris in front of the elephant, and the elephant jumps. So some people say, how could an elephant jump? It's physically not possible. Kids said there's a whole needle about it. Just thought I would bring it up. You should not be embarrassed in front of the people who make fun of you. When you're doing Avodas Hashem, keep it coming, Rebbe. Anything that could bring another Yid to join the Daf, I had to do it special for Reb Mendy Auerbach. I have no idea. Berkowitz, I think it is. This needs sound. Here, sound. The coil of the Oh, yeah. Shalom Aleichem. Wie heißt die? Moshe Ashri from? Bar Park. And you? Also from Bar Park, Sheikla? Shleim. Yeah, we were, yeah. That's shine. I'm going to have to give a Josh and Nachamal. It turns out that the part of the brain that recognizes human beings very, very fast. You know, you see your son, you don't have to think, oh, where do I know him from? But it's limited. I chap that it's very limited. After you meet like a couple thousand people, that's it. Full capacity, and that's it. So whoever I met before, wow. Azoi what are you going to do?
That number decreases as you get older. For me, it's like 5.
Well, you're older than me? Oh my goodness. Thank you. I'm looking forward. No, because it's embarrassing. All these people, like, I sat next to you yesterday in Shir. You don't remember me? Yeah, sure. And you don't remember my email I sent you 6 months ago when I talked about the Koil of the month sponsored by We Merit the Crown Hashem. The Masech is sponsored by Lakewood NJ families, Lakewood NJ, because torah and achdus are the best segula. Paras HaChodesh, Leilui Nishmat, Avraham, Levi, Ben, Ester, and Gavriel, Beniyaminov. Paras HaChodesh and honor Rebelli, Siyum, HaShas, and all them the wires. Paras HaChodesh, Leilui Nishmat, Zechrיה ben Moshe. Paras HaChodesh, Rochel Bas Leba for Refuah Shelemah B'Korov. Paras HaChodesh, Leilui Nishmat, Zechrיה bas Yosef. Parnas HaChodesh, in honor of my son Meir's Bar Mitzvah today. Mazel Tov. May this dedication be a schus. Leilui Nishmas, Pesio Bas Meir Halpern, by her daughter and son-in-law, Dina and Chaim Lewitan. Ooh, shkoyach. Dak. We had a sugi about yesterday. You were here? When the dentist knocks out the David's tooth. Morris Elbaz, Leilui Nishmat, Ora Bat Zakieh. Sharon Greenblatt, Refuah Shelemah, Elio Ben Fredo, Refuah Shelemah. Zechariah Hanikman, and Paris Chaim Lewitan, Leilui Nishmas, our grandmother, Rishka Bas Eliezer, Rose Hanikman, and our aunt Yitka Bas Yerucham HaKohen on the yard side, and the September 11th Kiddushin on Shabbos. It's this Shabbos already? It's September 9th, Sunday, that's what I thought. Yeah. Yosef and Chai Sarah for the schusim that come from supporting Limud Torah. Rabbi say brand new sugya. We're on Daf Chof Vav Amud Aleph by the Mishnah. Zok Deiligi Mishnah. Nechasim sheyesh la machrayus niknim bekesev u'mishtar v'chazaka. It's just a nice way of saying real estate, not to be confused with anything else. It's a very fancy lashon. Real estate. How do you say real estate? Nechasim sheyesh la machrayus. It's only because when you write a shtar and you borrow money, then the real estate that you have is security to the loan. So if you sell it off, the guy that lent you money could go after that piece of real estate. So it's called nechasim sheyesh lamachrayus, but it's real estate. So here's the a little bit of a chart just to see what's going on here. So we have real estate, and we have that's called yesh achrayus. And then we have metaltal and movable objects like cows are ein achrayus. You could be kind of a meshicha. Meshicha, we said, even has to do with you could call an animal, it comes to you, that's meshicha. Yesh achrayus, a piece of real estate is bought bekesef, shtar, and chazaka. Okay. Nechasim sheyesh lamachrayus niknim bekesef. You pay the guy money, it becomes yours. B'shtar, you write a shtar that it's yours, like we do today, it's yours. B'chazaka, what's chazaka? Noal gadar paratz. You do something in the field. You plow, says Rashi, a little bit. You make a little bit of a border. You put a lock on the door. You break the door. You do something in the real estate. She'ein machrayus, if it's movable objects, a niknim ella b'meshicha. So it's a very strong lashon. Only b'meshicha. Now, a movable object, Rabbi say, what else could you be kaina a movable object with? No, yesterday.
What is Agba? What is Agba? How does it work?
Now, for a demonstration of Agba, Rabbi Nachman Seltz is going to show us what Agba. You can do Agba. What else could you do? What else could you be kaina? Masira. Mashiach, we said in the Mishnah. What else? Huh? You have an article over there? Chalipin. Oh. Yeah, Chalipin. Very good. Okay. So Mashiach is something that you cannot do on a field. You can do Chalipin, you can't do Mashiach on a field. Nechasim she'ein lahem achrayus. Everybody knows what this is. This is called kinyan agav. So if you have real estate, you purchased a piece of real estate, nechasim she'ein lahem achrayus, niknim im nechasim sheyesh lahem achrayus. B'kesev u'b'shtar v'chazaka. So it goes like this. You have a field, and you purchase a piece of real estate, and it comes with metaltalin. So all you have to do is purchase the real estate, kesef, shtar, chazaka, and then the metaltalin becomes yours. Now let me ask you a shaila. Don't be shy. Do those cows have to be on that piece of property that you purchased, or the cows could be somewhere else?
Somewhere else.
Yeah, not shy. Why do you say so? It's im. It's nikna im.
Because that's kinagab. Kinagab means it could be anywhere.
That's how you understood it. I didn't understand it like that, personally. Anybody else agree with him?
Yes.
You agree with him? Why? Because you learned Kiddushin before? Because you have a Nar scroll? No, he's right. He's at the end of the day, he might be right. So that's today's sugya basically. That's the whole sugya. It's a long sugya. You might even go into tomorrow. What?
He might be right. Is he right or not?
Let's stick around. I don't want to ruin. How would you like if I told everybody at the end of your books?
That would be good because that means you read them.
Sheyesh lo machrayis bekesef ubishtar bechazaka v'zoykikin es anachasim sheyesh lo machrayis lishava aleihem. Now, this we have a yisoid from Gittin still, and it's throughout HaShas. Ein nishbaim al karkais. You don't force somebody to make a shvuah on karka. That is, if I come to you and I say, you borrow 2 cows from me, and you say, no, I only owe you 1, that's moed b'miktzas, you would have to make a shvuah. I can force you into a shvuah. But if I say, I lent you 1 piece of karka, and you say, no, it was only half a piece, there's no moed b'miktzas in karka, there's no shvuah on karka. However, if I force you on the cow, because you were moed b'miktzas on 1 cow, because I tined that you owe me 2 cows, so it's a moed b'miktzas, and you have to make a shvuah. So then I could say, hey, I also rented you 2 apartments, and you only returned 1. Then I could I could also force you to do a shvuah on real estate if you're already making a shvuah on metaltalin. Derech agav, has anybody in this room ever done a kinyan agav? Oh. Everybody did a kinyan agav in this room. If you did a mechiras chametz, which you probably did, and the way mechiras chametz works is through kinyan agav. Okay, very good. Bekesef minola. How do we know that you can purchase real estate with money? You purchase a field with money. It says yiknu. The kinyan was done with kesef. Wait a minute. If you look at the pasuk, sada is bakesef yiknu uchasoy basefer v'chasoyim. Look at the pasuk. It says mafurish that there's a document here also. Says the Gemara, Iksiv Yiknu lebasoiv kideko amris. If the word Yiknu is at the end, great. HaShas Yiknu mikara. Now check this out. It's the first time I asked Yoshi to do this. It came out beautifully. Look at this. If the word Yiknu is at the end, okay, so the word Yiknu goes on the ksav, on the shtar. But the word Yiknu in this case is right after the word kesef. So the kinyan happened with kesef, and the rest, just as a documentation, to document what happened, but not as a kinyan part. Kesef kani shtar ra'iba'almu. This is great. You could purchase with money in a place that they don't use a shtar. But what about here in Eretz Yisrael? What about in England? What about in Switzerland? What about in America? Adayim azeh. Today, not adayim. In our days, we don't purchase real estate with cash. Nobody ever came with a suitcase of money. It's always with you sign a document and then it transfers the sale. So it doesn't work, kesef. You're not koina. Why you're not koina? Because there's no smichas das. There's no gemiras das. I don't have intent to give you over the field until there's a documentation. I don't intend to purchase the field until I have everything. Sorry, yeah? There's a Maisa Shahaya, there was a couple that heard of a great deal. It happened in our neighborhood also. A great deal. Guy was selling an apartment for like $200,000 less than the going rate. On condition, that's all cash deal. All cash. They really needed an apartment. They ran around. Yeah, they ran around and they got cash from this, from that, from everybody. Swiss accounts, the whole thing. They put it in a suitcase and they show up to the guy. And as they're there, there's another couple there with the cash, with suitcase and cash. The guy says, I'm sorry. They already bought it. So they were very tzibrochen. They worked so hard to come up with the cash and finally they're there. Sure. And then it turns out that the guy made a big vayivrach. It wasn't even his apartment. He took the cash and ran. And it happened, mamish here in Ramat Shabbos, same thing. A guy who rented an apartment for 4 years. So the balabas was who knows where. And happens to be that the house that's like 5 houses down from Shamshi's house. The owners are in Switzerland. So nobody has ever. I don't think they've ever been here. I've never seen them here. Maybe once. So the guy went and he sold his apartment he was in. He just rented. So, anyways, you need a document. People nowadays say, "Give me something that shows and proves that it's yours." Time a bag of cash is not going to do it. So loikana, there's no gemir's das. Be parish. But if a guy says mafurish, let's do a kinyan kesef. It says mafurish in the Mishnah you can use kesef. So what if in Eretz Yisrael it's not done like that? We want to do it. Okay, then you can do it. The Rav Eli Bar Oven, there's a story of Rav Eli Bar. When he sold, he bought a piece of property. We're doing both. I'm giving you now money. And if I decide tomorrow that the money should work, it's going to work. And if I decide tomorrow that the star should work, then it's going to be the star that works. It's going to work retroactively. That what? If you want to take back and retract the sale, who was it here? There's a guy sitting here the other day that we sang of Shavu Banim. He bought an apartment here in Eretz Yisrael before during COVID, and the builder decided that he canceled all the contracts, sold off the building to all different people. So now he's in Dentyrus and this because the apartment went up double. So the guy said, "Why should?" And the guy's 90-something years old. After speaking, money's money. 92 years old, he's still, and they paskin that the original guys get it and the whole thing. But right here, so people have charata, especially here in Eretz Yisrael. It happens all the time. Like when the price moves a little, I didn't mean it at this. If you add some, maybe I'll honor the contract. So that's what happened there. He says, "Listen, I'm giving you now down payment. I'm giving you $100,000 and the star. You cannot regret it. You can't retract, because if you retract, I'm going to invoke the money. I'm not invoking the money today. Tomorrow, when you come back to retract, then I'm going to invoke the kinyan kesef that we did yesterday. And it turns out that I bought the field with kesef. But I'm not invoking it. You know why? Because maybe I want to retract. Maybe the price, Rav Eli says, is going to go down, and I'm going to come to you and say, listen, the deal's over. We didn't do a star yet. And if I want, and I could decide, I'm the one deciding here. There is something like that in America. I don't know, here in Eretz Yisrael it doesn't exist. In America it happens all the time, that there's a clause in the contract that if you don't get a mortgage, then the deal's over. Over here in Eretz Yisrael, what? A contingency. A mortgage contingency. That doesn't exist here in Israel. You don't get a mortgage, too bad. It's you get a fine and Shelemah Yisrael. In America, listen, I wasn't able to get a mortgage. Sorry, I have bad credit. I didn't know. You slept the guy for 4 months. I didn't know. I can't get a mortgage. So the whole deal is over. The seller loses everything. Yeah, a good faith effort, right? Yeah, I have 6 friends in the mortgage business. They'll give me a good faith effort thing. How do you know that you can purchase a field, real estate with the document? Oh, here, this pasuk that we just saw, it says mufurish that you could purchase with a document. But you just established that last part of the pasuk is only a raya. It's not the kinyan. The kinyan was bekesef. It's in the same parak in Yirmiyah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Yirmiyah over there, the Mam is going out to Golus, and it's a whole fight not a fight, an argument sort of between Yirmiyah and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Yirmiyah, listen, you're going to go to Golus now, but I want you to buy the field from Hanamel, your cousin, because it's like a simon, you're coming back to Eretz Yisrael. Don't worry, you're coming back. After 70 years, you'll be back here. So he purchased it with a sefer, with the shtar. So that's how you know you can be koino with the shtar. This, that a document works without any money, is because I gave him a gift. But when it comes to a sale, you need the money as well. You need to try, that's how we do it today. It works with the document, but you have to see that the wire went through. But the kasha is, it seems over here that a shtar alone is enough. He wrote a shtar. How do you write a shtar? On a piece of paper that's worthless, on a piece of earthenware that's worthless. Even though it's worthless. I sold it to you, or I gave it to you. So now we're saying two separate things. Mechura lach is one case, or nesuna lach is another case. Harezu mechura or unesuna. Okay? So you see, you don't have to add any money. Hu meisav lavu mefarik la. B'moicher sodeyu mepnei ra'asa. The field is so bad that the guy is masking to sell it. The seller wants to get out of it quickly, so he does it with the shtar without any money. I said this a number of times. A lot of people would come over the years. I live here. Say, you're a real estate guy. So should I invest in in New Jersey? The guy is selling a bunch of houses. Like, have you been there? Have you seen it? No. So let me tell you. This is what I tell you. I was in Chicago. A guy tried to get me to buy his house for $100. $100. So you tell a guy in there, so you can buy a house in America for $100. All you need to do is renovate it a little bit, and then you get a Section 8 tenant, and you pay $1,000 a month. They try to give you the house. The house is not even worth $100. Go down to these neighborhoods. Go down to Detroit, or it used to be Detroit. It's closed down houses, thousands and thousands. You go block after block. It's just dead. The houses that people they'll pay you to take the house. It's more of a liability to own the house than it's worth. The taxes. A guy was trying to get me to buy. So the first thing is, if you're only asking $100, and so okay, shkoyach, I'm not interested. But obviously, whatever. Unfortunately, I have stuff over there, so I know what's going on over there. So, mipnei rasa. So if a guy says, yeah, I'll take the house for $100, so he signs the document right now. Right, don't ask questions. Here, sign right over here. I don't care about the money. Just take it. There's such a thing. The bottom line is that if anybody tries to sell you an investment in America, and you're an Israeli and you don't know what's flying, don't do it. You should be where your investment is, l'chayr, no? It just makes common sense. Or any investment, you should know what's flying. Don't try to have experience in that thing. Okay. I never davened that one very stark. It didn't, well, even if I did, it didn't work. But okay, it's good. No. When it says Sadai mechuralach, sadai nesunalach. What? No, we're talking about in a case where a guy is desperate for shtar. Why? I'll give you a farvav in a case. It's such a bad field. There's such a thing. Okay, it doesn't have to be rasa. You don't have to have dagan. It's rasa. It's a situation when a guy is desperate. Rasa means I'm running away from the law. I need to be out of Eretz Yisrael in 24 hours, and then I have to catch the next flight. Take my house, whatever I could get right now. I don't care. Sign. We'll sign later. Just sign. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? That's Rasa. Rasa means it's a desperate case. This that it says Sadi mechurlach, Sadi nesunalach, two cases. It's actually one case. It's the last case. Sadi nesunalach. It's a matana, but it calls a matana. It starts off the lashon of matana in a lashon of mecher. In order to make it stronger for the mekabel of the matana. In other words, anytime if I sell you a field, or if I lend you money and then you don't pay back, I come after your field, right? I come after something. What if I give you this field, but the field really is security for somebody else's loan? So you feel all good. You're making a big party. You got to give Valdiki Yerusha. The guy gave you a building in Manhattan. It turns out that it's not even yours. It goes to the guy that he borrowed money from. So the guy wants to calm him down. He says, listen, don't worry about it. No matter what, you get a building. Even if I have somebody that comes after my building, I'll give you, how much is this building worth? $10 million. Here, I'm writing on it. This field is a gift to you, but it's also worth $10 million. So if somebody else comes and grabs it, I'm going to give you $10 million in cash. I'll replace it. Yeah. It just reminded me, it's not really a thing, but here in Yisrael, like you, I'll give you a marshal. Like it's not embarrassing. The MDY Chaver, they bought my son a Lego set, which I held up because you should go for the HaShas, by the way. But to me, Lego, the kids in our generation, he's going to learn now Gemara. Lego, it's geschmack. but they left a sticker on it. It said 600 shekel. It's like, wow. Like but it's an Israeli thing to do. It's like, by the way, how much do you earn? What's your salary? And only in Eretz Yisrael. They also, sometimes they leave the sticker, but they forget to take it off. Here, it's a zach. So this guy gave a field. Here, I'm giving you a field. By the way, it's a $10 million value. You should just know. Rather, I appreciated it because I thought the Lego was 100 shekel. Shkoya. Appreciate it. See, this is that you're not making fun of one person. It's like the whole chabur bought it, but shkoya. No, I actually appreciated it then. Like, how much could a Lego cost already? It's just a guitar. What is it? 600. Okay, again, it's fine. I should know. We should know the prices inside out. I mean, we only have 50 of these sets at home. Okay. By the way, these kids are into Lego. It doesn't matter how many sets. And I got to tell you, okay, this is mamish, the bittul Torah, but I got to tell you this. My wife's best friend, I mentioned her name once in Shir, so I'm not going to mention it again, with the Cholm Bowl. So we went to their house. She said, you're not going to believe what just happened. She had guests, and she let them use the basement. And when the guests left, she came back to the basement. She couldn't believe her eyes. All the Legos that her kids made over the years, one kid went and destroyed them all. And she had a 10-year-old that you work hours and hours to build one of these sets. And all the pieces were mixed up. It goes with booklets and this and that. The kid never played Lego again in his life. Trauma. So this kid is going to grow up. He's going to have this trauma. He's going to go to psychologist. What happened? The big trauma in his life was that he destroyed his Legos or whatever. But it was trauma. Trauma is trauma. All right, Zok the Gemara. What? Yeah. Zok the Gemara b'chazaka. Minolon. How do you know they can buy a field? The whole HaShas is about this, and here it is in 5 lines. B'chazaka. How do you know you kind of feel b'chazaka? Minolon. Omer chizki omer kro. Ushvu ba'areichem asher tefastem. Sit. Gedali ben Achikim says Rashi. Sit in your cities that you captured. You captured. Bemet tefastem. Well, what did you grab? B'yeshiva. Ushvu. It says sit. So you chap it. You just sit. You do something like you show the ownership by no'agod de paratz. The Ber Bishmal Tana, v'yirishtem oisa v'yishaftem ba. You should inherit Eretz Yisrael. How? V'yishaftem ba. You sit in it. B'mei yirashtem b'yeshiva. V'sheina machrayis eniknem elav m'shicha. You have movable objects. You must do m'shicha. Minolan d'chsiv d'chisimku remimkum alay misecha. You sell something to your friend. Oy kanoi miyad misecha. Davar aniknem yad liyad m'shicha. You take it from him and you pull it to yourself. It's interesting because yesterday we were learning about behema is not niknem b'shicha. It's not the derech of doing a behema b'shicha because it's not going to come to you. It's not how you. But other movable objects, yes. So here's another way to be kaina. According to this man, Rabbi Yochanan, who says that midairaisa, you purchase things with money. So why does the Mishnah say Mashicha? It's money. Here, it says Yosef Chamishis Kesev Agarav V'Kamloi. V'Nosam HaKesev V'Kamloi. That's the Lashon in the Gemara. V'Nosam HaKesev V'Kamloi. It doesn't really say it like that. Okay, but Berech. It says Gemara, Tana Takanta de Rabbanon Kotani. So there's a Yisod in HaShas. I don't know if there's a real Yisod, if we have to remember this one, but there's a concept called this Refuah Ba'aliyah. If I purchase something with money, and you say, I'll deliver it tomorrow, then you have no reason to protect my schayra. You have no reason to protect it. So if birds come and it gets infested with the insects or there's a fire, I sold it. So I'll tell them, this what you purchased yesterday is gone. Sorry. So Chacham didn't want that to happen. So he said that you have to be kind of a Mashiach. The only way, even though he gave you money, it's not his. So take care of his product until he brings it himself by Mashiach. So Rabbi Yochanan is going to say that the reason why the Mishnah says Mashiach is not because Midaraisa need Mashiach. Midaraisa, it's money. But Rabbanon were in the Sake and the Takana, so he doesn't say this Ruch Decha Ba'aliyah. Make sure he takes it to himself, and then it's his problem, not yours. How do you know this idea of Kinyan Agav? That I purchase real estate and whatever's by the real estate or according to Judah next to the real estate in another city is Nikna Agav. Yeshua gave them gifts together with the cities in Yehuda. So there's a very big question here. It says over here that they were kind of a kinyan agav. The question is, if they had real estate, they should have been kind of with kinyan chotzer. Why not kinyan agav? So it should have been. What's the raya? Right. The Ksav Sofer says over here that the word it says here in the pasuk, im arim mitzuris v'Yehuda means that it happened simultaneously. It happened together, and that's kinyan agav. Kinyan agav means as I purchased the real estate, there's no second later. It happens together. I'm kind of the real estate together with the metaltalin. But kinyan chotzer would be first I have to purchase a chotzer, then I'm kind of this. I still don't understand why, but why? Why did they do it like that? That's really the question. He explains what the diuk is. The Pnei Shur also has a diuk here. The Pnei Shur says metaltalin is mentioned first, then the fields. So
maybe it's because it wasn't on the land.
That's another teretz. Right? I was thinking that also. Yeah, Meichetes was on the field. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Seder, it's just Ora. Iboilu. So here's the question that we're going to be dealing with today, a little bit tomorrow. Iboilu. Be'inon zvurim oiloi. Does the metaltalin have to be on the karka or not? Omer Rav Yosef Tashma. Rabbi Kiva Omer karka kolshu chayeves bepeya ubebikurim. If you have the smallest amount of land, the kolshu, or nothing, you chayev and peya. Here, we could go through this real quickly. This is mamish. I hope it goes faster. This is leket, shikha, and peya. Peya means you have to leave a little small patch of produce on every piece of land that you have. Peya. Remember, like payas. Okay, fine. So you have to have, in order to give peya, you have to own the field. In order to give bikurim, we had last week's parasha, when you have the first produce that comes out, which is from the Shivas Haminim, you can see over here the Shivas Haminim. I just like this chart because it says Eretz twice, so the fruit that's closest to the Eretz goes first in the bracha. So let's say Teina, fig, is number 4 after Eretz, the first Eretz. But Dvash, which is a date, is number 2 after the second Eretz. So the halacha is you make a bracha on a date before a fig because it's closer to the Eretz. Anyway, but here's the Shivas Haminim. When you have one of these Shivas Haminim, you bring bikurim. But it says in the pasuk, Asher nosata li, that it has to be your field, that you have to own it. So you have to own a little bit in order to be minkayim bikurim. At 1 minute, I didn't turn the page. You all turn the page. I'm still holding bikurim. At my son's Bar Mitzva, I said a beautiful vart, and I said it, and I didn't mention Noam. Noam told me this vart, and I said it, and I got a lot of, people sent me things. It's beautiful. I said it over at centers. Yeshua Berman said it over in the yeshiva. It's no fix, not me. So, but I'll share it with you because it was such a beautiful vart. It says by Bikurim, which is last week's parsha, it says, V'amarta Elav, that you tell the Kayan, look at all that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you. So Rashi says, She'eincha kafi toiva. You're not a kafi toiva. What should Rashi say? Sheyesh l'cha karas ha'toiv. You appreciate what HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you, and that's why you're bringing bikurim. What do you mean? Why is it in the negative? You're not a kafi toiva. The word is because we cannot be makar toiva. We have no idea how much good HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us. We can be makar toiva a billionth of what He gave us. A little. We understand one drop. We don't understand how our cells work and our brain works and our eyes work and ears. You're going to be makar toiva and all that stuff. You can't. So at least I'm giving bikurim. At least I'm not a kafi toiva. That's it. I'm just not a kafi toiva. Yeah, I'm just thinking now, and like to myself, does a child, not a married child, does a teenager, these typical teenagers that spit in your face, do they chap how many hours and hours we were up with them at night? Not we. I mean, my wife was up with them at night, and then the tsar and the labor and the this and the running to the doctors. No clue, zero. So he said, they get up by the chasana, and Daddy, thank you for bringing me up. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're an idiot. So that's what I'm saying. That's what you're saying. Your mom, at least I'm not a kavitay. I don't know what you did. I know it was great. I know it was a lot. I have no idea. Maybe later on, in 30 years from now, you chab. Okay, yeah. Avram Willig, who's a part of our share. B'shem Moshe Nechemi Reichman, who's not part of our share. Okay. Chayvus Alvavis is full of this idea. It's put in here, yeah, 100%. In honor of his uncle, Rav Elchanan Pressman, and as his chos for a year, filled with Mazal Baruch and Parnos and Berevach. Like Rebbe Keber, Baruch Parnos Azloch Ubrios for his family, rebellion, all doing the daf. Oh, Nehemiah Seltzer's birthday today. Happy birthday, Nehemiah. Where is he? No. Oh, wait, it's only 7 minutes. Okay. So, if you have a piece of property, you can write a prusbul. Prusbul is a document that says that even if you let money and Shemitah comes, Shemitah is mishamet all chayvus, you don't have to pay back a loan. And Hill saw that people stopped lending money right before Shemitah, they're scared they're going to lose it, so he made a prusbul, you write a document. It's really the Bezdin goes and collects for you. But you need a piece of property because Hill only was misakin it on a typical loan. Typical loans have property. So you need a mashu. And with this tiny piece of land, how big is this land? This big. You could purchase and be kind of acquire movable objects. The amers being in tziburim, and if you need to pile it up right on top of the property, koshu l'may chazi, what could you possibly do with this small land? I could have purchased a needle. You're upsetting me. You annoyed me. And if you look in the side and I go to Siyum, it says, you made me throw up. What? That's the whole sugya, machat. Now, I'm very happy that he used such a lashon, because I'll tell you, people ask me this question all the time, especially beginners in Gemara. Well, how's it possible that the baby fell off the roof and he happened to be there with a knife and he chopped his head off? Well, the point of the Gemara is always to find the most extreme case, even if it's impossible to happen. It's not important to us because then we can understand how the law, the halacha was built. And if we know it like that, we could extrapolate and bring it to other places in HaShas. But he was annoyed. So, Omer Rav Ashi, man leimelon, the leitalaba marganisa. Oh, here we have a picture. Here, you could put a needle on this little thing. Says Gemara, for that's why you told me this halacha. No, you know why? Because I could hang a jewel on it. A marganisa. So I'll tell you, this morning when I read it, all of a sudden I had a beautiful pshat. I don't know if you'll have as much. I know if Chaval, there wasn't I might have jumped out of my seat. It's a simple pshat, but beautiful. When you understand, it's not the marganisa. It's not the pshat. Oh, you could hang a jewel on it. Al pi drush. When you get to the bottom of the halacha, when I tell you the most extreme case, then I could have a marganisa. I could teach you torah. I could teach you different halachas that I can extrapolate from this needle. It's not the needle. It's the marganisa. It's the halachas that I get out of it. All right. Toshma. Omer Rebbe Lozer Ma'aseh b'Madoni Echad Shoyu b'Yerushalayim. Oh, but I got to tell you the story real quickly because this is Dvar Musar. There was a king that said, I'll say it real quickly. There's a king that said, if you could show me something I've never seen in my life, I'll give you 1,000 golden coins. So this guy swallows fire, and this guy swallowed a sword, and this guy jumped like that. No. Comes the guy, says, you see this king, you see this needle? I could throw from here 100 feet and it could hit the tree. Okay? He goes like this, and it hits the tree, it sticks in the tree. Then he takes another needle, and he throws it, he aims, he throws it, and the second needle goes into the eye of the first needle and lands. And he takes another, he does the same thing twice in a row. Did you ever see this? No. Okay, so the king said, listen, give him 1,000 coins, but also you have to give him malchus. Put him on a table and whack him. Why? Such a talented individual. He wasted his entire life to practice how to throw one needle into another hole. That you got to get malchus. And what's the point? Oh, Erev Rosh Hashanah, waste our life with the shtuyot that we do. Look at me, I could take this ball and dunk it on a thing. I'm making fun of myself. Okay. I can't. But that was my goal in life. And I achieved it 4 times. All right. Yeah. There was a guy from a Jewish guy who had a lot of stuff, a lot of movable items, a lot of cattle and stuff. You wanted to give them away. There's no way out of this. And we have to remember this lashon. There's no way out of it. What you could do is take a piece of land and agav, give it to the other guy. And we're trying to prove, do all the animals, everything you wanted to give away, does have to be on the piece of karka. Here's a Beis Selah, Rabbi Isai. It's a Selah the size of a Selah. You saw that? Oh, you missed it. Nachamo. We have to go back, sorry. Right over here. The size of a Selah. Okay. So the northern part of the Selah goes to Ruvain. With it, 100 sheep and 100 barrels of wine. And then on the Droimi, I'm giving it to Shimon, 100 and 100. Umeis, and then he dies. So how large is this field? The size. How could 100 sheep fit on this? How's it possible? Says Gemara, Misavers Beis Selah, Selah Mamish. You think a Selah means a coin? My Selah, Misavers Beis Selah, Selah Mamish. My Selah, the Nafesh Tuva. We're talking about a giant Selah, a stone. V'mai Karle Selah, the Kashik Selah. It's a place that's here. We have a picture. What's going on with your buttons, Avraham? Do it again. Here. It's hard like a rock. In other words, it's really cheap. You're not trying to purchase real estate to invest. You're trying to purchase real estate so that you could do a kinyan with it. So that you could give over some sheep to somebody. So you don't have to invest that much. Be yaitza, just to be yaitza zayin, yeah? Yaitza zayin. I didn't say yaitza zayin in a long time. I got to say yaitza zayin for all the new people. It's a story. This is probably my favorite vart in the whole HaShas. And I have to say it 4 times a year. So Erev Shana. The Kiddushin Rebbe, he was Erev Pesach in the matzah bakery, baking matzahs, and he took his 2 matzahs and he left. And before he left, he gave a tip to the guy, to the Redler over there, to one of the guys working. So the guy said, Rebbe, you were here a month ago where you baked all your matzahs and you gave me a tip then. You're already yaitza. So the Kiddushin Rebbe looked at him and he said, I didn't come to this world to be yaitza zayin. Oh, what does that mean? And I said this over, and a guy in Florida told me, he said, ever since you said that vart, my tzedakah is completely different. I used to give $1. I used to give $100. He said, now, that was to be yaitza zayin the mitzvah. Now I do the mitzvah because I want to do the mitzvah. You could have a mincha. I got to have a mincha, yaitza zayin. Or you could eat the tuna fish to be yaitza zayin, the fish for Shabbos. Or you could eat a piece of salmon. You could do toyameh, whatever. There's different ways to do mitzvahs. So upon him, this guy was just yaitza zayin. He just bought a piece of field. Why? So you can do this. Check this out. Oh, we need sound for this. Here we go. Not working. Should I try my computer? Okay. So it fit the 100. It was just hard like a rock. That's why it's called Selah. In other words, very cheap Selah. Toshma. Don't review though. Omarav. We're still trying to figure out, do all the sheep need to be on the property, all the cows need to be there, or I could just purchase the property even though the cow's in a different country. Says the Gemara, Rav says, a guy became very sick. It's a funny lashon. He wasn't sick like Rav Eliezer. Either we paskin like Rav Eliezer, that what? Here. The famous idea, if a person is on his deathbed and he says something, we paskin, it's machlokes. Do we say that whatever he says is as if it's written in a document? Rav Eliezer, who argues on it and says it's not written, because if it was written, then we wouldn't have this story. A guy's sick, he's dying, so he says, this and this should go to Pliny. This and this goes to Pliny, it's done. But Rav Eliezer says it's not done. Only on Shabbos we listen to him. And some say we're talking about Bari. He's healthy. Haya kirabanan, because Rabbanan hold. So if he was sick, it would be a done deal. Kitzer, either he's healthy or he's sick. The point is that his words mean nothing right now, and he has to make a real kinyan. He had a lot of stuff. He wanted to give it as a gift. There's no way out of it until you put it on a piece of land. Let's call it 200 square feet next to Yerushalayim. But here's the thing. He said, tefach al tefach, one small 6-finger width. That's it. Leploini to Ruvain v'imoy me'atzaynu me'achaviyos. It's about $60,000, let's say, worth of stuff. 100 sheep and 100 barrels. Literally, I don't know, at least $60,000 worth. On this one tefach, umeis, and he dies. So what do you say? If they have to be mamish on top of the tefach, you can't put so many sheep on it. Barrels. He took the $60,000, put it in a how much is it? This much. He put it in a giant envelope, put it on top of the tefach. That you could do. And I'll prove it to you. If it's mamish, 100 and 100, why didn't you just do kinyan chalipin? Here's my yarmulke, you give me back and I'm kind of the tzon. Velamai, so the Gemara says, wait a minute. Lidmei, so that's why you're talking about this money there. So why didn't he purchase? Why didn't he acquire the money, the bag of money, just with Mashicha? Ella, the leisalim kalanatana. The guy is not there, so he can't do Mashicha. So he couldn't do Chalipin. What's your proof? If he's not there, so he can't do Mashicha, he can't do Chalipin. Says Gemara, we know, see a guy walking by the street, do me a favor, be koina all these sheep for a guy that's in Eretz Yisrael. Says Gemara, the giver is worried that he's gonna say, oh, I should take it, okay, and I take it for myself. He's gonna be sorry for himself and run away. But why do you say ein lo takana? That's a very strong lashon. There's no way in the world that you could be kind of these sheep for Ruvain only with a piece of land. It's not true. You could do it. Okay, he happens to be scared of it, but there's still another way to do it. Says the Gemara, very simple. Because he's scared. This guy, you're right. This guy has no way out. You do have a way out of it. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day. Have a great Shabbos. Motzei Shabbos, 9:45 to 10. 9:45 to 10 Motzei Shabbos.